All right, so it's me again, and I don't even know if I need to post this. Maybe I just need to do these for myself, bro. Like these little videos. I'm trying to cover that light with my head because this isn't very nice. Fuck it, it'll be like this, like I'm an angel or something. Um, but yeah, basically I'm coming in a little update on me and my emotional state. It's really weird. Like I feel like I can't really tell if I'm like more sad, um, or depressed or whatever cocktail of emotions is going on, um, or even like lack of. I don't know if it's even a lack of drive, just like a bit of a lack of direction. But again, I don't know if that's like a genuine thing that I'm feeling for like a reason due to these things happening. Like let's say me not really like moving in a specific direction when it comes to like taking action in a certain direction right now. Even if that may not be true, but that's what it feels like. I can't tell if like these conditions that are I'm currently experiencing and these situations, me spending more time alone, more of like in a hermit mode recently. I can't tell if that's what's leading me to feel a certain way, or it's more like it's been a long time since I've had a time where I'm less distracted and maybe I use these other things to fill that like deeper void. Even though again obviously that void is just like an illusion, but the ego very much experiences it to be like reality. Um so yeah, I can't tell which one it is, you know. A part of me is like, yeah, I just gotta do more of this, and this. And that's true. And I think I'm already moving in that direction. Like I said in the last little update, my sleeping was off, my sleeping times. That's already getting better. I went to the gym yesterday, so with exercise hopefully coming in. These next few days, I think I'm gonna have some more interactions with homies, just hang out with homies. Tomorrow night, I already have some plans. I'm gonna have some homies over. But regardless of that, there's just this feeling happening. And I think it could be that it's just been a long time since I've been not distracted by goals, to-do lists, or like things to do, like routines, like, oh, it's Thursday, so I have to go to my 2 lectures and do this, and then hit my dance class and do. And in between, yeah, have moments of some meditation, transport, plenty of time on my phone, and your days just kind of keep going like that. Obviously you still have emotional days and all that stuff, but for the most part, there's things happening that are like holding your attention in a way. But then as soon as you remove some of those, even if it's just for some time, and you have more time just with yourself, it's like, fuck, man, that really reveals some things, Like that really reveals that there's some internal things that need to be adjusted, really. Um, yeah. And not even in a way of like, oh, I'm broken, like I need to fix myself. Because obviously, the ego does go down that rabbit hole as well. Just the same way when you're doing these activities and you're chasing outcomes, or maybe you're just not very aware. Your ego is obviously bugging you about things like, oh, you need to do better or whatever. But it's like satisfied that you're kind of like following its desires, and all that stuff. And whatever, it feels like it feels safe because the ego is an activity, and by you being more active, it's very likely that some of those, at least, actions are going to be ego driven, or at least the ego is going to have its role in the whole thing, even if it's not fully ego driven, whatever. um But yeah, but then when you take like pretty much less actions, you remove a lot of the actions and activities in your life for some time. Fuck, man, the ego goes kind of berserk, and gets revealed, and but yeah, I'm not exactly sure. Like maybe it's both, you know, kind of like with everything, as within, as without, as without, as within. I guess, even though it does feel like it's more of an internal flowing out, but eventually it circles back. I mean, your outer reality and your actions do affect how you feel, I guess, as well. Definitely affects your ego, and thus that comes with emotions, you know. Um, so yeah, I'm just making sure, like, yeah, I don't want to just be some like non-dualist fucking. Oh yeah, like, and basically like spiritual bypass my emotional human experience, because like I came here for a reason. So it's like I'm finding that balance of like feeling the things and doing things in the external world, aka actions, habits that will influence me in my state 100%, but also being aware that some of that is caused by some internal sense of lack or void or whatever inadequacy that the ego desperately wants to fulfill through the world and actions and accolades and achievements, taking them like little boxes infinitely. Um, and when that doesn't happen, it enters like a mode of terror, and just like it feels terrible, you know. And it's gonna be on your ass about it too, you know. How it's all your fault or whatever. It's just finding that balance between the two, you know, making sure that I work on the internal and build up, not even build up, remove things that don't serve me, you know, beliefs. Most of them, I guess, is just beliefs, activities of the mind. Not don't fuel them so much with my awareness and my energy and attention. Kind of ignore them, you know. Just let them pass through, without attaching myself to them or making it like a part of my identity. Like, oh, I'm just like a sad person right now. I'm going through, because you know, like the ego also enters that victim mindset. But again, I don't want to be like a fucking soldier and be like, I don't need to go there, and like these emotions or thoughts, they're just, you know. That's kind of also why I like the framework in the book that I'm reading. It's like it kind of explains how, yeah, it like thoughts, especially habitual thoughts, but in general thoughts lead to feelings, and feelings lead to actions, and so forth. You know, actions end up leading into potentially identities and stuff. And thoughts arise from within uh, beliefs, you know, beliefs that you've internalized. I guess not only, but beliefs influence it a lot. So if you kind of trace it back down, it's really the thoughts that you want to change, or not even like necessarily change. You don't change them like voluntarily. You can by thinking positive thoughts. That's a good thing to do. But it's also about like just being aware of the negative and not attaching yourself to them. And by you being aware of them, you kind of create that distance, or you become aware of that distance that actually exists. And that way, they don't like influence you as much, and they kind of just pass, and they get weaker and weaker. You kind of drain the ego driven thoughts of their energy, and thus the beliefs start changing as well. And again, you can also consciously work on affirming the true beliefs, you know, about reality, instead of the ones that the ego has. So that's like a beautiful thing. Like that's like the sort of active, and like, no, like I'm gonna be diligent. I'm gonna be taking inquiry. It's like I'm going through my closet, and it's like, okay, this can stay. I love this, but I don't wear this anymore. I don't need this. This is not me. Let's remove that, or let's not feed into that at least. Um, so that's like a big part of it. But then the emotions, once the emotion is there, like, not that it's too late or anything like that, but it's just like the energy's already turned into an emotion. The emotion is telling you that there's a false belief at play. You know, there's some sort of a uh, dissonance with reality. You're not in harmony with reality. You're not in alignment with truth. At least not to the fullest, you know? There's a part of you that's distorted. There's a part of you that's perceiving reality not in its true form. And by reality, it could also just be like you perceiving yourself in the wrong way, as inadequate, as whatever. So, of course, your emotional state is going to give you a signal basically saying, yo, something's wrong here. Just the way like how pain works in the body. Pain tells us that there's something going on, something's wrong. Whether physically there's something, or emotionally, of course, the whole body, you know. But there's something that needs to be, something's out of alignment, and it's the same thing with emotions, as far as I can tell, and as far as this book says. But it really makes sense to me. Um, but the point is, once the emotion's already there, you should definitely feel it. Like it's you want to feel it. That's the most loving thing you can do in that moment is actually allow yourself to feel it. So it's kind of like having that balance, the feminine of like feeling everything that comes up. I don't even know if that's feminine, but I would say it's a feminine thing. Because you're basically receiving, like you're receiving the emotions that already have been created by a part of you, with love and forgiveness and non-attachment and just empathy. Um, and then the more masculine is, I guess, with being with your awareness, like keeping an eye out for any thoughts that aren't loving, you know, aren't truthful, and making sure to be aware that that's not really you, you know, and also consciously creating ones and thinking ones that are in alignment with truth and what you want to be, you know, what you want to affirm yourself to be. So it's that balance. It's like having both, and either way, it's like some shit that there's just like inner turbulence coming up. And I do think a part of it is just because there's less uh, swag, there's less things going on in my life, so there's more time to just like feel these things and realize them. Um, so yeah, so that's just like my update on how I feel, and it's crazy how much lightness comes when you just express it and you just like talk it through. And yeah, like it feels really good to just talk it through. And this felt like such a channel. Like I literally feel like I just let it out. I didn't feel like I had to really think much. So that's really cool, man. Um, and it's interesting as well. Like when I sat down and I could tell like I was adjusting to the fact that I'm quote unquote talking to someone else. But as soon as I told myself, man, like maybe this is just for me. Like maybe like I just need to express. And I'm realizing even with expression, like I've built up this idea. Imagine I'm feeling something and I want to express it and like dive deep into it and create art out of it. And it's like for that to be therapeutic, I don't actually need to share it, you know? And sharing is amazing. Like sharing can help someone, but I feel like fuck, I feel like if you're thinking about that already, like you're thinking about the potential audience and you like helping someone or touching someone, I feel like that already takes you away from the moment, and it's gonna ultimately shift. It's creating some attachments because if you're thinking of the audience, you're hoping that that will touch someone. You're hoping that that will be liked by someone, but not even in like a superficial way. It could just be like you hope that yeah, it'll touch their heart, it'll affect them positively. But that's out of your control. That's so out of your control, and ultimately it's gonna shift your art. It's gonna distort it in a way where you're gonna want to do it in a certain way. You're gonna be more attached to the outcome and the process, and you're gonna be more of a perfectionist because there's now like a stake and there's an expectation. But as soon as you tell yourself, man, this is just for me, like this is just for me to express myself, that lightens a bit. So that's really beautiful, and I think I can use that more with everything I do. Um, yeah, man, love.